What's up, investors? This is the Oil and Gas Investing Podcast, episode 00. Now, just to give you a little bit of intro into what we're going to be talking about on this podcast. First of all, who's it for? This is meant for passive investors wanting to invest in the industry. Particularly what brought me here was the tax benefits, personally. I've been investing in oil and gas since 2019 when I went and out in the field, out in northern Texas, to go put some money and allocate and then really see what happens on the taxes. Do I really get those intangible drilling costs coming back to me? And does my CPA even use that to lower my taxes? After that point, I've gotten a little bit more sophisticated over the years, but I'm still learning, right? So on this podcast, first thing I'm going over is oil and gas news out there. There's a lot of things that's happening. It is fast paced, but I wanted to really strictly focus on the big movers out there that are moving some of the projections. In a lot of these deals, there'll be some type of per barrel assumption. A lot of that is moved by geopolitical movements, wars, and then other demands in the economy out there. The next thing I'm going to be focusing on is more upstream. So if that makes more sense, what are the deep dives into exploration and production, and helps you understand exactly how these deals work. Even getting down into the granular thing in the technology, something to be on the lookout for when you're looking at a PPM or prospectus or OM. I want to be technical with this, but I don't want this to alienate people from getting involved into this world. After all, we're all passive investors, but I think we want to go at it from a little bit more of a understanding of the technology. I am an engineer by trade. Industrial engineering as my undergraduate, and I got a construction management civil engineering degree as a master's. Some of my background, for almost a decade, I worked for the railroad building a track. So I'm very familiar with that blue collar type of work. So I think that's what really attracted me to this type of investing. I'll just continue on my bio here since it makes sense. But early on in 2009, I bought a rental property. 2016, I had 11 of these turnkey rental properties. And then by 2020, me and my partners bought over $1 billion of apartment deals. And we eventually got over $2 billion of assets. But then things happened. There was a market correction in commercial real estate from 2021 to 2024, caused by the great increase in interest rates that happened post-pandemic. And I got my butt kicked through it. I survived, but it taught me an important lesson, which would be diversifying outside of one asset class. For me at the time, I was like 80-90% real estate. I had a life insurance too. I do infinite banking. But from there on out, and why I started this podcast was I wanted to be a little bit more educated in investing in oil and gas. Not only for the tax benefits, I think that's what brought me to the party, and maybe that brings some of you folks here too. But I think it is a sector that is going to be very important in the future, especially with growing energy, AI demand needs, et cetera. And I don't want to get into it. Obviously, we've got a lot of podcasts with each other in the future. But the other thing I wanted to bring in is important oil and gas industry leaders out there, executives, operators, people to bring in, not just to sell you stuff, but to give you guys a little bit more understanding of the technical nature of the business. And even on the investment banker side too, to understand that supply and demand dynamic too, and how deals are made. So hopefully, again, this is meant to be a practical guide in investing in oil and gas energy so that you can add it to your own personal portfolios. Most of us here are accredited investors investing through private placements and syndications. And also mention that we do have the Wealth Elevator community, which I've ran since starting my other podcast, the Wealth Elevator, back in 2016. If you'd like to join our group, you can join at thewealthelevator.com/club. And I hope you enjoy the new format for the Oil and Gas Investing Podcast.